guys at Tower City baked, a big hamburger. It was about maybe 3.5, 4 feet diameter, and they brought it out to the table where I was signing autographs. That was the biggest burger I've ever seen. But when you were describing the MVP, I said that's a heart attack on the bun.
Well, Howard, I was going to bring that story up, because we're in Cleveland, there was commercials, and I never forget the line. He was, of course, number 92, and he said, I can eat 92 of them.
That was a lie.
Like I said, I really enjoyed Michael Dean. My son was like 6 years old when Michael Dean first came to the Browns, and back then he'd go out to training camp with me, and Michael Dean and Webster Slaughter gave him gloves and wristbands and things, and he remembers that this day. He's going to be 32 in June, and he told me last year, he said, Dad, why am I a Browns fan? I've never seen him win, and a lot of those things are just from memories, I think, from when he was a kid, and some of the great guys that were there. But got some questions for Michael Dean. By the way, both these guys that were here tonight were second-round draft choices. You know what the trivia is? Who the first-round pick was the year they took Michael Dean?
CC.
Nope. An infamous linebacker.
Initial CC.
Cliff Charlton.
No wonder we can't remember. It was awful. Awful.
And that was right after the
Yep. But anyway, Clifton Charlton.
When they talk about
as far as,
Mike Chunkin, the junkyard dog.
got some questions for Michael Dean, and we got some times went by. 5-time Pro Bowler. He was inducted in the Legends Club in, I think, 2001. And, just really a great guy and a great player. As a member of the Browns, you played for both Bud Carson and Bill Belichick. Describe what it was like to play for each of them.
Night and day. Personality, no personality. Can I say more? No, Bud, actually, Marty Schottenheimer drafted me, and we picked a 3-4, and I was playing mostly third and long, second and long pass rush. And so when Marty left in '89, they brought Bud in, and Bud played a 4-3 scheme, 2 inside guys, 2 defensive ends. And he put me in this cock position where I turned sideways on the center. And my objective was to beat that center snap hand and get back in the backfield and cause chaos. By having such a great first step, I excelled in that defense, and that's probably why I had the success I had with Bud Carson. Of course, when Belichick came in a few years later, then the 4-3 wasn't his thing, and we wanted the 2 guys to head up on the man and let the linebackers run free. But like my coach said, they get paid to let them throw their own blocks.
You think about that, in '94, the Browns, in '89 they went to their last AFC championship. Michael Dean was on that team. That was with Bud Carson, and it kind of went downhill from there. But '94 was the Browns were 11-5 and went to the playoffs. Since '94, when Michael Dean was on that team, Browns only played one playoff game since '94, and that was in 2002 under Butch Davis. So it's been a drought, and that's why I was talking about living off the interest of some of these guys' play. What was your most memorable game as a Brown?
My most memorable would probably be the New York Jets, because I think that was it was a home game. The second game of the season played Pittsburgh. The first game beat them 55-0, I believe. 51, and then we came back and played the Jets, and that's when I recorded my first sack. So that was pretty special, my first one.
In your career, who was the toughest offensive lineman that you went against?
There were a couple. Bruce Matthews, Mike Munchak, but the one that probably gave me the most trouble was Randall McDaniel, that played for the Vikings. He was some special offensive guard. So I would have to say Randall McDaniel.
What was the biggest hit you remember giving to an opposing player?
Well, I had so many. I really can't pick one out. Let me think about that. Actually, probably one of the hardest, toughest hits I made was against Ernest Vine in the preseason. When Ernest went to Washington, we played him here in Cleveland, and I guess Ernest thought he had a wide open hole, and here I came, and it wasn't pretty. Probably Ernest.
Who were the most difficult running backs to take down?
He remembers.
Without a doubt, Barry Sanders, hands down. If that guy had an offensive line like a Emmitt Smith, let me tell you something, he might have had 3,000 yards a season. He was just that explosive and that good. And when we played Detroit, everybody, well, the defensive line would always say, don't make the highlight film. He would make you look silly.
I can imagine. What's the best advice you ever got, and who gave it to you? Football.
Best advice. You know, I would probably say Frank Minifield and Hanford Dixon. And back in 89, of course, I had a lot of success and Player of the Year and all that. And Minifield and Dixon, they were just like two bookends. And they used to say all the time, don't live your life around the plain dealer. You never knew what that meant? Don't live your life around the plain dealer. And what he was saying was, don't read all these press clippings that your head get too big.
And you should read Fox Sports anyway. You know? Do you see any major differences in the way the Browns organization treated players during your time as opposed to now?
Well, the difference, I think, now versus when I was coming up, I think now, back then it was more stability. And the reason why it was more stability is because we didn't have this form of free agency. So the guys that I befriended and stayed friends with, we played together 4, 5, 6 years. You know, guys now, they come in, they only play a couple years together, and you really don't have that bond like you did when I was coming along. But as far as the front office, I know Art is not a world-liked guy here in Cleveland for what he did, but as a player, Art tried to do everything he could to put a winning team on the field. I will say that about Art. Now, other things that he has done while he was here, that's another subject. But as far as wanting to put the best individuals and pay these guys, I think he did exceptionally well in that regard.
Do you keep in touch with any of your former teammates, and who?
I talked to Anthony Pleasant quite a bit, Kevin Mack, Clay Matthews, I call every once in a while. So those would be the guys that I keep in touch with.
You mentioned free agency and the change of it. Think about this, just you watch the game, in what sport did the top players get just cut? You know, this year, you know, Darrelle Revis, who's, you know, he was cut because of his contract, and he immediately went to the #1 ranked player available, and there's Chris Johnson. Just some of the top players in the league get just released, you know, and it's just crazy with the free agency. And so that's what you see. You kind of, some of these guys price themselves off a team, and then, you know, so you really, some of us saw guys play their whole career, and then it's hard to really get attached, especially when you got the revolving door.
I think you hit on a key point. back when I was playing, like I said before, you didn't have this level of free agency. And now with the TV money, these guys get paid an awful lot. So if you're not producing at the level in which they think you should be producing at, they're going to let you go. So that's why you have a lot of these guys who are making that kind of money of getting released and then another team is signing them. It's because of the salaries what they command. And they have to, keep these guys or this team under the salary cap.
What's your funniest Browns memory?
During the game or just period? Both. I tell you, we played the Houston Oilers in Houston, and some of you guys may remember Alonzo Highsmith. Alonzo Highsmith about 6'3", about 240, 245, and Felix Wright, number 22. So we line up. Houston runs a play. Here comes Alonzo Highsmith, breaks through the line. Felix Smith hits, wham! Got him down. Felix come back to the huddle. Oh, I got him. Yeah, Felix, good job. Sure enough, 2 plays later, Alonzo Highsmith breaks through the line. Felix Wright, wham! Got him down. So Felix comes to the huddle. He said, let me tell you something, guys. Y'all got to get it next time. My shoulder hurt. we were laughing in the huddle while we played the game. It was funny.
What's your favorite memory as a member of the Browns when you think back?
Favorite memory? Oh. I might have to come back to that one. I don't know. Favorite memory of the Browns? I don't know. I guess it would have to be week in, week out, year after year. And I was telling somebody earlier, the Cleveland Browns fans remind me of my college team, Clemson, because these guys would pack that stadium every single Saturday. And when I came here, I was fortunate enough to have a fan base that loved their team as much as they do. So, some of those years we were 3-13, 4-12. You guys came out every single Sunday, cheered us on, gave us inspiration. So, I think those types of memories is what I cherish the most.
I think that's why a lot of the former Browns end up settling in Cleveland. It's not for the climate, I'll tell you that. Because the fans, make them feel special long after they've quit playing.
It's true.
Okay, talk about the Browns-Steelers rivalry when you play. And do you think the current players get it? Or is there no rivalry at all?
It's real lopsided right now. So, yeah, I mean, the rivalry is still there, but I don't think the essence of the rivalry, the new guys, get it as much as we did. I can remember watching, clips, and when Bubby Brister was the quarterback for the Steelers, and his mother used to go to the game, of course, watch him play. And I can remember watching these old clips.
Yeah.
When I come through the line and sack Bubby, I see his mother show his mother, and his mother's cringing like, oh, here's a 92 again. That's what it was all about, though. I mean, that was not a rivalry better than the Browns and the Steelers. When I went to Denver, of course, it was the Broncos and the Raiders. And the guys were like, it was Raider week. I'm like, Raiders? Man, we kicked the Raiders behind when I was in Cleveland. The Raiders? But, it was the Browns and the Steelers. That was some special rivalry.
Compare the amenities you had as a player to those the current players receive or what they receive. What are some of the things that you guys got?
How much time we have left? As long as you want. That word amenities need to be obsolete. We didn't have any amenities. Let me tell you guys something. Remember now, I came from Clemson, and that was a first-class organization. So I go to Cleveland Stadium, right? We practice in Lakeland, Willoughby. So we spent 2.5, 3 weeks there. So I said, okay, we're going down to the stadium, we're gonna scrimmage, right? So I go in the locker room, I'm thinking it's the visitors' locker room. I go in the locker room, they got nails in the wall for your clothes. Hey, some of the guys' name, of course, in the lockers. So I go in the locker room and I'm looking, okay, where's 92? I don't see Perry. And so one of the guys, I think it was Big Daddy Carl Harrison, he said, Rook, you upstairs. I'm like, upstairs? So I had to walk up the stairs, and I think it was about 2 or 3 window panes broken. It was cold up there. And I'm looking, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Amenities. And then we came into halftime. And you know where we met at halftime? In the shower. No lie. And after the game, you want to take a hot shower? That was out. Cold water. So, the amenities, when I came here for the Legends induction, I go to the stadium. After the game, I see these guys pulling the players' cars up. They got valet. We had to walk outside the stadium, through the parking lot, and if you had a bad game, you got snowballed.
So you missed the old stadium.
Truth be told, they should have kept the dog pound. They should have kept the dog pound. I love playing in Cleveland Stadium. So yeah, I miss it.
Yeah, I've said all along, doesn't matter how good the stadium is, if you have a good team, the Browns fans, well, it doesn't matter, they'll come. They're spending a lot of time trying to get all these scoreboard, all these amenities, you know, but it's all about winning, and that's all Browns fans really want.
That's it.
And next question, was the locker room at the old Muni as bad as we heard? What was it like? I mean, man, did you play in the painted dirt?
Let me tell you guys. So, here again, I come from Clemson, right? Climate is pretty warm, pretty hot all the time. So I get to Cleveland, it's about October. So I'm putting my my cleats on, my spikes. And so Sam Clancy, I believe, he looked at me, he said, what you doing, Rook? I said, putting my shoes on, getting ready to go out. He said, not in those? I said, what do you mean? He said, the ground frozen. I said, you can't wear that. You gotta put turf shoes on, which are like sneakers. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, you gotta put turf shoes on. So anyway, that was my first lesson about the frozen ground in Cleveland. And then, by, what, 1st of December, they painted the dirt green. The hardest thing you ever seen. A lot of fond memories in Cleveland.
That's why everybody wants to come and play.
Somebody wants to know, is the management of the new Browns finally connected with the alumni players? Do you feel like they keep you in touch?